Hello, welcome to Oz Scalemodeling, and welcome to part 17 of the Ocean Liner Queen Mary build by Revell. And in this part, I'm up to the decking here. So what I've done here is I've just dry fitted this on here. It's not stuck down. I just need to test fit, make sure it all lines up. And it really does line up quite impressed actually, all the way down, but there is a fraction a little bit short down this end by about 0.5 millimeter, and there's nothing I can do about that because it won't slide down any further. Everything else is perfect up here. So what I've realized is that it's not going to be an issue because there's some railings that go along there, so that 0.5 millimeter gap will be just this place where I'll sit the railings that run across there, so yeah, it won't be noticeable at all. So that's about to get stuck down. Underneath you'll see I've got all my fiber optics running through and glued in place so they don't slide out, which they shouldn't anyway. So they're all in position, and what I'm going to do is actually I'll just show you quickly how I can light that up, and you'll see what those fiber optics do. Just be back in 1 second. Okay, I'll just get that to focus. I've got this light here which I'm going to shine on the fiber optics underneath, and you'll see what that's going to do in the bottom of the pools here. So there you go. So all I'm doing is shining the light, which will, when it's in the ship, be coming from the LEDs, and there's what we get, the little lights in the bottom of the pool. All good. Okay, so the next step I'll be doing will be just to fill these in with my gel, as I've shown before, and I'll show it again, a water transparent AK gel. This stuff's going to last me forever. Maybe I should do the whole water for the ship to sit in. Maybe not. All right. So yeah, so I'm going to fill that in. That'll be an overnight dry clear, like the other pool is over there, and then I'll be able to continue working. Now there is ladders on each side of this pool. Just having a look quickly, yes, so I'll be putting those in before I put the gel in. So the gel will help keep the ladders in place, pretty much just like it did on that one there. All right. Okay, so I will do that, and we'll come back and look at what I'll work on next. Back in a sec. Okay, so just wanted to show, before I go ahead and do this, I've actually glued the ladders in. You can see the ladders are in there. So that's all done. All I have to do is put in this now, but then I realized that I need to fix up these areas where these tennis courts, I don't know if they're both tennis courts, I guess they changed them, but at least one is a tennis court. And what it is, I'll show you on the instructions here, and this is on the photo etch instructions, is this. So what we need to do is this yellow part here, this is photo etch, a piece of photo etch. There's one on each side, and then you use the decals for the courts inside. Now to put that photo etch down, and there's a picture there of what it looks more like when it's done. It's when we put all the fencing and everything on there as well. But the main part is I need to get that photo etch down on there, as well as painted. And the color will be the deck tan, which was what we did the balconies with. So it's only going to show around the side there, and of course the decal will go down simulating the chords. Now, to put them on, we have to, I've taken one piece off the sheet here and I've just test fitted it, and perfect, not a problem. I'm not going to have any issue with that. They'll go on there really nicely, but it's not a flat surface under there. Now, I know the wooden deck, I put the wooden deck down and I didn't sand off the simulated decking underneath because I've never had a problem with that, and I don't see personally the point of going to the trouble of carefully making all that area smooth when you think about it. This stuff sticks really well, and I know I haven't been doing this for long, but I've had no problems with this lifting up. So, but for photo etch, that's got to go on a flat surface. So as you can see, it's going to focus, there we go. So there's a little raised section there, and also the simulated decking in there as well. Get that focus for me, yep. And that's on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just smooth and flatten all that area out. And to do that, I will be using just a little chisel here. I'm just going to use this, and I'll just go along and carefully, get that surface smoother for the photo etch to sit down on and attach to. But of course, this will have to be painted first, so I will go and undercoat that. I'll get that undercoated first, and let that dry, and then I'll put the deck tan on there that needs to be put on. While that's drying, I'll work on this and get these areas all smoothed out. Once they're smoothed out, I'll be able to fill the pool. It's just that I didn't want to get plastic dust, because it's not sawdust, is it? So I didn't want to get plastic dust in where this stuff was drying in the pool. So then again, that might have looked like some bubbles in the pool. In fact, that's probably a good idea in the spa, to sprinkle a bit of plastic dust into the spa and create the look of bubbles. Anyway, maybe another time, we'll see. So that's what I'm going to do now, all right? And when we come back, I should have this painted and this flat area done, and the gel in here drying. Let's see how we go. Back in a second. In your time, back in a second. In me, it'll be about an hour or so. Cheers. Okay, welcome back. I thought I'd just show you how one side's looking. So this side here I've smoothed out. Didn't take much work at all. Pretty much just with one of these sharp little chisels here. It's quite easy just to slide across and take all that off. So you can see that side is all done compared to the other side, which I'm about to work on now. It only took 5 minutes. The photo etch is got some undercoat on it, primer, and that'll be dry pretty soon. Give that another 5 minutes. By the time I finish the other side here, I'll be able to put the base coat of deck tan on it, and I'll probably definitely put a couple of coats of that on. Give that a good few hours to dry, considering it is going on metal. And then see about putting this on. But once I've got the other side of this all cleared off, I'll actually fill these the swimming pool and spas up with the water gel, and get that in the process of drying nice and clear. Okay, get back into it now. Back shortly. Okay, welcome back. Now what I've got here is I was just going through my old model boxes and sorting stuff out, and I found some old photo etch sprues from my Kitty Hawk build, and on them were these little boxes that I mustn't have had any use for. So I took them out and I had a look, and I figured, like, they have a bit of a pattern on them, but if I found that if I fold them the opposite way around, they'd just be a plain box. If we can get that to focus. Yeah, there it is there. And I've got about 12 of these, 14 actually, and I've just folded them all using my bender master tools. And the idea of these is that a lot of areas along the side of the ship, along the deck, is these big brown boxes where they keep all the deck chairs, and they store them away in. And the kit doesn't include these boxes, so I thought these would be perfect. And I just took one, folded one up into a box and sat it on the deck, and it's a perfect size. It's fantastic. So I've done all these. I'm going to paint them all now. I'll give them a quick undercoat, and then I'll do them the brown, which will be the dark brown that they are on the deck. And there's my boxes to put along the deck for the where all the deck chairs go in. So yeah, that'll add a little something extra onto the ship. All right. In the meantime, the pool water is drying, so I've got those in the pool and the 2 spars drying. I've also painted the photo etch, undercoated, and I've put the brown deck tan color over the top. I've just painted that then, so that'll leave that for a couple of hours to dry properly, and then I'll come back and see how that's going to look on the deck and whether it's the right time to actually place it on the deck or not. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a few more railings. The two spars on that deck, which are these 2 here, they have railings around them. I've already put the ladders in, so they're done. So I'll put the railings around those. Then there's a lot of stuff to go up around the tennis courts and so forth up here in the way of photo etch, but I think I'll leave that for a while. It's just to build up all that now is just too much of a chance of damaging it. Who knows, I might change my mind, might get in the mood and start working on it. Have to figure out what colours all these things need to be painted. There is some railing that goes on top of that piece, which I've already got, and a couple of little pieces in there. But we'll go back to the instructions, which are actually telling me to start building this piece here, which is just behind the pool that's the water's drying in at the moment. So this bit here has a ladder on the side, photo etch. There's a little clock there. I figured that out. There's a tiny little clock on the wall there. Same on the other side of the ladder. So I might build up that piece there and see how that goes, and whether or not I want to put any little lights on the walls around that. We'll have to have a look at the actual ship and see what that looks like. Okay, so I'll get onto it and we'll be back shortly and have a look at progress. Cheers. Okay, back again. So what I've done here is I've painted those little boxes, which is where the deck chair is going to be put in. They've come up really good. I'm really happy with them. You can see the nice and shiny because they are nicely polished boxes on the ship. So I clear coated them as well. So they should look nice sitting on there. Yeah. A little bit fiddly, but they've come really good. Just letting them dry. So I've worked down this area here. I've got a little light that's going to go on a doorway. I've touched it with a bit of clear green, so it's going to be a green light in the door to the back of here where the swimming pool is. That'll bend over and go through. The pieces that I prepared for there are there. So we've got the railings done, It'd be hard to see, it's so small, but you'll be able to see there's a railing done, it's painted, the door's painted. I drilled the hole, so we've got like the little porthole window effect in the wooden door, and there's a grill there as well. And the light will be up just in that hole beside the door. See that? There'll be a little hole beside the door, a little light, little green light will be there. Now, the bottom of the tennis court and basketball court, as I just realised the other side is, there's one side and it's painted and ready to go on. So what I'm going to do is I'll drop these on. I'll use my photo etch glue, which is the MIG glue. So this is for photo etch and clear plastic parts, but I've used this photo etch and it does a fine job. It just takes a lot longer to dry. So I'll clamp those down in position on each side and leave them overnight. Then I'll start putting that little building together. On the instructions is step 30, which is here. So all that will be done, and I'll put that aside with our piece number 29, which is in the container, put aside, along with the bridge, which is also put aside, and we'll move on further. Now I was thinking of doing some of the tennis court, so I might end up doing some of the railings. Sorry, I'll put the decals down for the basketball court and the tennis court. I might as well put those down and do all the railings around the back there and up on there. So that'll get all that done. Yeah, it should be fine. As for the sides of the courts and all that metal area, all those parts, let's see here. We'll see how we go. I just don't want to put things on yet that could get damaged. So we'll see. Anything I can do like that that can be done after all these subsections are put on the top, I think would be better. But all right, I'll get stuck into this. We'll be back shortly. Okay, welcome back again. I know that I sometimes say I'm going to do one thing and then I end up doing something else. Well, that's happened again. So I didn't do the railings and the decals on the tennis and basketball court yet. Instead, I went and I've done the funnel. So I've undercoated, so that's all primed, and glued that together, just making sure that sets properly there. There is a bit of a gap down in the center of there. It's going to be hard to show because it's white, but yeah, you might just see that gap. So I'm going to fill that, get that nice and smooth. Other than that, that went together okay. Then I've done this one here, which is part 31, step 31 on the instructions, which is that. And as it turns out, there's actually nothing in that area on top. It's just grey, as you see. There is railings all the way around there, but I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a staff smoko area or something. It's just a bit of a blank spot on the top. I've done the sides, just painted those here. So they've just been done in the white, and I'll let them dry because I've got to do the railings on there. There's a vent that needs doing, filling in grey, and there's doorways on the other side on there as well. Sorry, that's right, because it's on the phone. I use that to hold them while I'm painting. There they are. There it is there. So that's good. I've just got to do the stairs will be white, so I've got them taped off at the moment, but I'll do them white when they take the masking tape off. The pool is looking good. And you might notice earlier I mentioned that sometimes the pool takes a while for the colour to come through, for it to go completely clear. And this pool I've done previously, look at that, beautiful, nice and clear. This one I've done, it's been 2 days now, and you can see it's a little bit cloudy in the bottom of it there. Not much, just a slight white haze in there, but I'm confident that'll go away and it'll be as blue as the 2 spars on either side. Just takes a couple extra days drying. And also I noticed, if you didn't, the ladders in there haven't been painted, but I'll touch them up with some white paint. And there's also railings to go around the spar and all that as well. Okay, so the funnel was step 32, putting the 2 sides together and the center, and all of it is black. And now I know that they've got M there, which is a grey, and it looks like it's pointing inside the funnels. So I'm just going to brush those. That won't be a problem. I'll do them with a brush. But other than that, as soon as that's glued and I've got that seam filled, I'll spray that the black, because step 33 needs the sides put on and a piece there, and they're the red of the funnel, and also there's black stripes on there as well that'll have to be masked up and put on. This piece here, I'm not sure, they've got that marked as A, so I think that is black. Let me just check the instructions, and A is black. Yeah, so that'll be black as well. Okay, so that'll sit inside there, so if you can see the funnel there. So I'll get my alligator clip pointing device. So that'll be in there. So this piece going on there, and those 2 on either side, that will be in there, and it'll be black side there. So that's all good. Got that figured out. All right, I will continue on. Back in a second. Okay, welcome back. So a bit of an update. I've been doing a little bit throughout the last 2 days. It's actually Christmas Day now. So what I've done so far today is I've done the railings and the ladders on this pool here. I've also put, this piece is not glued down, but I've done all the railings on the top of that, which will connect onto this section, which is over that area where the pool is under the glass. If I slide this down, you'll see I put the decals on where the tennis and basketball courts are. I've also done the railings up on this back section here. And I've also put this in, and that's actually glued in, that piece. The whole piece on here is just sitting there, so that's not glued down, neither is the other top. That's all just sitting there. Now, what I've also done is some work on the funnel. So let's have a look at that. I'll just move that so it's not glare. So that's all been undercoated. I've got the ship's horns, 2 of them on there, a couple of little ladders that lead up from there. So that's all in undercoat, and that all has to be painted black, which I will do. I haven't done that yet, but that's going to be painted black. Also, I've done part of the base of that. I've taken the parts off for. They're all in there, and I've just test fitted all those to make sure they're fine. The 2 sides of the funnel there need to be painted a red, which I've run out of, so I can't paint those. But all these need to be undercoated. These sides run down the sides of the ship that are below the funnels. I can do those, that's no problem. They can all be painted because they're all white. Although I think the inside of one of those is red. We'll check on that. So yeah, I've done quite a little bit of progress. I've done this part here, which goes where those 3 holes are, because I'm going to have fibre optics come in. This is the roof where those 2, I don't know what they're called, those 2 stacks on the rear of the ship there are. So that's where they go. So that area will be the grey, which will be that grey, which is the same grey on the bow. So the top of that will be grey, top of that will be grey, that will be grey, but all the sides will be the white, which it's now painted all gloss white. So all I need to do is mask that up. Now, because I'll have light coming through here, where these fibre optics will go down through for all the windows around the side. Not windows, but there are lights on the side. There's about 4 on each side and about 3 in the front. So I'll be lighting those up. So what I've had to do was underneath, I've painted that black so we don't get any light bleeding through anywhere here. Not so much where the grey is, but where the white is. I don't want any light getting through there. So I'm just going to be careful because that's still just been painted. The part that's under that, the walls and everything below that are here all painted in the gloss. That's done. And that's that piece I was just talking about where this part here sits. Now again, this has also just been painted, but that will sit like that under there. And then of course we've got the top area over above the pool, and then the sides that you saw in the plastic container run down here, which become part of under here. We've got all that figured out. Don't worry, I've got it figured out. I seem to be doing quite a lot of different areas, so we're going back to the instructions now. 31's been put together. That part of the smokestack's been put together, 32. Step 33 is partially done, but I need some paint before I can attach those side bits on. And of course, there's the parts underneath, the lower section that sit on the deck, that I can work on, no problem. This piece here, I didn't film it, but that piece there was quite badly bent. I don't know how that's happened. It was just on the sprue like that. So what I'd heard from somebody else's video, I don't know whose it was, but you just soak them in some hot water to soften them up and bend them back into shape. And eventually that worked. I didn't want to put it in boiling water because I didn't want it to melt or anything on me, but I got it back into shape, so I'm pretty happy with that. That piece is actually that one there. And that was completely, this was like bent at like 40 degrees and it was like really all over the place. But as you can see, it's come up perfect. So a little tip I didn't know, hot water, you can bend plastic. Don't try what I did once where I put a piece of plastic in the oven to heat it up for just a couple of minutes to soften it. It melted. Yeah, fortunately there was another piece that I could use to replace it. That was on the Shan horse. Yeah, that was a mistake. Don't go near the oven with plastic. All right, so that will put us through to 36, 37 when those start going together, and then we'll start putting them all down on the deck. But again, there's lots of railings and so forth to go on here. There's a lot of everything to go on here, so we've still got to wire up the LED strip. We've got to bring up the wire through that hole and solder that on. And because that's where the Queen Mary 2 sign is on the walls, which I'm still not sure how I'm going to light that up. I've got an idea in my head of how I want it to work. I just don't know if it's going to work. Maybe if you've got some ideas. So I'll be back in a second. I'll just show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so here are the two side pieces for the Queen Mary 2 sign. You can see them there. Now, I want that to glow. Now, to make that glow, my idea is, well, first of all, it's going to have to be using one of my Posca pens, a black one, Posca pens. I'll be using that to do the lettering across there. But that won't help the light get through, that's for sure. So what I'm thinking of doing is on the other side, I'm going to try to see where the lettering is by holding it up to the light, which I can do, and mark it all. And then I'm going to paint everywhere else black, so no light escapes other than behind the letters of what's on that side. So hopefully I will get some sort of a bit of a glow effect. And I'd also like it to be a more yellow color. So to achieve that, this being just a white LED, I may have to get some clear yellow paint, possibly put that across there, or put some yellow acetate across the LED, because this LED is only here to light that up. Everything else will be blacked out to stop any light bleed, and I just want to get that glow behind there. I've seen it on someone else's build, but it doesn't show how they did it. So anyway, I'll figure that out. Maybe you guys have got some ideas on that one. All right, so that's enough for the video. We're going into a lot of time, and it is Christmas, so won't make this go for any longer than I need to. So yeah, again, please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell to get notified of my videos. If this is the first video you're watching, jump back to the beginning of this. You can watch this right from the unboxing. We're up to we're up to part 17 in the videos, and to give you an idea, we're probably really only about halfway through the instruction manual. Not even, actually, because if, say, we're up to around about step 33, 34, there's 89 steps. The last step in here is 89. We'll get there. Definitely not by Christmas. It's too late for that. Definitely not by New Year's. Let's get this done before Easter, please. I hope. All right. So again, thanks for watching. If you're watching this on Christmas, and you watch this, it'll be after Christmas, but I hope you had a good Christmas. And please add your comments down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And hopefully I look forward to showing you all part 18. It comes out next week. All right. Cheers all. Bye for now.